Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Noodle Journey, where we'll be looking at our first Maruchan product with Maruchan Gold Spicy Miso flavor. Yes, it's finally time, 33 episodes in, to review that other major American noodle company. See if you can complete this analogy. Nissin is to Rao as Maruchan is to, yep, gold. So this is Maruchan's version of a premium noodle product similar to what Nissin does with their Rao product line. You may know Maruchan from their super cheap salt bombs you can find for 30 cents in your grocery store, or whatever they are now with inflation. But I also found this flavor and the other gold flavor soy sauce at my local Acme supermarket for around $2. So it's in line with the pricing of a typical premium noodle package. Or, I don't know if you can actually read this since it's reflective, but they call these craft ramen noodles. So, from my light research online, it seems like Maruchan is the last major company to almost entirely ignore the surge in premium noodle popularity in the USA. While they have a couple of interesting flavors of their basic noodles that are fairly unique, like chili lime shrimp, for example, they're pretty hard to find, at least where I live. Unless you order a case online, which I will probably do someday for this channel. And while they sell some pretty awesome premium noodle products in Japan, we don't get to see any of that unless you order one of those Japanese subscription boxes. So sadly, yes, there are only 2 varieties of these right now in the US. I noticed on the back here that these are actually an export from Japan and not made in America, so maybe that has something to do with it. This product line isn't very old, and hopefully more varieties will come someday. Nissin has already upped their cup noodle game in the US, so what's the holdup, Maruchan? Don't you want my money? Anyway, I really don't know what to expect from this because Maruchan's cheap noodles are very much not my favorite, but these are specifically craft noodles, so let's just dive right in. Before we look at the contents, let's note the sodium. Maruchan thinks that this package is 2 servings, and so the sodium for this whole bag is a pretty sizable 2,160 milligrams, or 94% of your daily allowance. Inside, we've got those thick craft noodles, and they are a noticeably different shape and texture than the usual Maruchan offerings, and there is a liquid soup packet. This packet, of course, contains miso paste with some chili oil, onion, and MSG. And for those of you with dietary restrictions, it does contain milk, egg, and bonito, which is a dried fish product, so this is not vegetarian. Restaurant-made miso soup sometimes has bonito in it. I think this might be the first time I've seen it in a supermarket instant ramen. I have to stop right here and mention this. This is the 3rd miso soup product I've reviewed on this channel. The previous 2 have been absolute garbage. I normally love miso soup, and I need this to be good, for the sake of my soul. So please don't let me down, Maruchan. So I'm going to go cook the noodles for 3 minutes in 2 cups of boiling water, and I'll be right back to add the soup base to the serving bowl. All right, and now to stir this up. You know, it's funny how little things separate the products I've been reviewing. Like, Nissin Rao's products are very adamant that you have to add the cooking water first, and then stir, and then add the noodles, and stir some more. And here, Maruchan is just like, yeah, pour all that shit in, you're good. It's certainly a smidge easier to prepare, and I appreciate that. Consistency of this looks pretty nice. It's definitely oily. And even though the package didn't say what kind of miso was in this paste, it very much looks like red miso. Alright, that should be enough stirring. Yeah, this actually smells like miso this time around, and not hot ginger water like that Snapdragon stuff. And so I am cautiously optimistic. So, here we go. Wow. Yeah. Okay. The noodle quality was apparent before I even took a bite. I could tell after 33 episodes, just from the way these feel on my chopsticks, that they were going to have a really good texture. They're chewy, thick, perfect for this soup. Pretty much everything I want a noodle to be. I can't find any fault with them. They're not at all what I expected from Maruchan. They're terrific. They're a 10 out of 10. Now, as for how spicy this is, not very. There's a little bit of kick from the chili oil on first bite, but it's not lingering in my mouth at all. It's not really that spicy. I'm going to give this a fairly liberal 3 out of 10, just because I know some people are going to be more sensitive to spice than I am. But it hits you, it's gone, it's not on your lips, it's not on the back of your throat. It's a good flavor too. 3 out of 10 feels right. And so for an overall flavor and presentation, this is really very good. Finally, I have a miso soup that has miso flavor in it. It is strong miso flavor. Like I said, it looks like they used red miso paste, unless some of this coloring is artificial. And it definitely has a very strong miso flavor, kind of like I would expect from the red paste, as opposed to something milder like white or yellow. That bonito flavor is very much in here. This does have a somewhat fishy quality in a good way. There's an additional hit of garlic, which I love. The consistency of the broth is really great because you've got a thick miso paste, and then you've got that nice oil on top of this. So it gives you a really nice texture. Oh God, I have to go in for another taste of this. There's so much going on here. Yeah, the depth of flavor on this is terrific. So I definitely can't complain about the fact that it tastes like miso paste, finally. And I can't complain about the consistency, and I can't complain about the noodles. What I can complain about, there's not a speck of green onion in here. Nothing at all. Would it kill them to put a little dehydrated green onion in this? Just throw us a bone. It's really preventing this from being an almost perfect score. I really love the flavor of this. It's strong. It's actually not like any miso soup I've ever had before. And I like that the spice is mellow. And I like all the other flavors that are going on in here. So I am going to give this a 9 out of 10 overall. This is terrific. So this is easily the best Maruchan product I've ever had. If your only opinion of Maruchan comes from their super cheap chicken or beef soups, you are going to be surprised at how good this is. If you find this at your store and are in the mood for a mildly spicy miso, and don't mind that it's got a fish flavor to it, this will not disappoint. Throw some scallions and tofu in here and you've got a real treat. Since this went so well, I'm going to review their soy sauce flavor next, so we've got a record of both products before I move on to something else. This also makes me want to queue up the Nissin Rao miso and soy sauce packages so I can compare them all together. And so that will be coming soonish, I think. In the meantime, if you have a favorite flavor of Maruchan's other noodles, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Or if you've tried this one, let me know what you think. Until next time, please like and subscribe to continue on this noodle journey with me.